Hey, what's going on everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Hypixel Skyblock Hardmode series. First off guys, a quick reminder as always that I am still on the road to 100,000 subscribers, so if you are not already subscribed but are enjoying the series, please consider hitting that subscribe button for me. I would really appreciate it. Anyways though guys, to start off the episode here today, I'm gonna be picking up kind of right where I left off with the last episode. So if you guys remember, the main conflict we were facing there was trying to figure out like a dungeon setup I could utilize just in order to survive on floor 6. And the strategy I had kind of decided on using was this epic turtle pet here because its first perk gives you a pretty decent amount of defense. And then continue to grind floor 5s as a berserker and try and get that shadow assassin chestplate, which is exactly what I've been continuing to do since the last episode. If I go to my collections here and show you my Livid floor 5 boss collection, you can see I have now done 103 runs, which for me in particular, these 100 runs have ended up taking a decent amount of time because the fact that I usually try and like match up with people who are similar in skill to me. It usually takes our parties around, I'd say like 8 to 10 minutes in order to get an S+, maybe sometimes even a little bit longer, just because we all don't have like the secrets like perfectly memorized. We can eventually find them, but you know, it takes a little bit longer than like the best of the best players. So the question I'm sure many of you are asking is, Rage, in those, 100+ floor 5 dungeon runs you've done now, what kind of loot have you managed to get? Probably some pretty good stuff, right? And well, it started off not too bad. I'd say in like one of the first like 10 to 20 runs I had done since the last episode, just randomly in one of the secret chests I was going through, I happened to find this treasure talisman, which is something that I have surprisingly never found in like the other 300 to 400 dungeon runs I had done. So I was really excited to get that, which is obviously super nice for me because it means a completely new rare accessory. Not only do I get 7 strength in that reforge on it, but it gives me plus 1% extra loot in the end dungeon chest, which will hopefully be good for getting that shadow assassin chestplate. But then after that, I unfortunately went on a cold streak for a while, didn't get anything in any of the secret chests, and also didn't get anything in any like the ending loot chests in the dungeons. But then finally, on like dungeon run number 90 or something crazy like that, I finally found something good. Come on. Are you kidding me? Oh my god. Oh my god. Are you kidding me? I bet it's got to be the same odds. I bet this is the same odds as the chest plate. Are you kidding me? Game. I'm not buying it. 7 mil. I'm not buying it. Oh my god. I gotta see how much it's worth on AH, dude. That's crazy. So yes, finally, after many hours of floor 5 dungeon runs, I get a very rare drop. It just happens to be one that I had already gotten on like my 15th run or something, and yeah, didn't need it at all. Now for the average player, they definitely would have ended up buying that because the Livid Dagger, you can see the lowest price is about 12 million coins, so that's a easy 5 mil coins in profit. But obviously in my circumstance, I cannot sell it on the auction house, so I couldn't make any money off of it. I would just be dumping, 7 million of my precious coins into an item I already had. And on top of that, once I complete 150 Livid runs, I'm gonna get another Livid Dagger anyway, so I definitely do not need it. Even if I want to have an extra one, I still don't need it. And yeah, that's pretty much all I've seen in all these floor 5 runs. I'm just hoping that over the next like week or so, I can continue to do a lot more runs and I will eventually see a Shadow Assassin chestplate. But obviously it's a super rare drop, so I never know. With that being said though, I know that my plans for floor 6 cannot totally rely on getting the Shadow Assassin chestplate because it could never come. So over the past week or so, I have been continuing to work on other parts of the plan to get myself closer to surviving on floor 6. And the first thing I've worked on is actually making a small change to the setup I've been using. So rather than using the Shadow Assassin helmet, I've now switched over to using this reinforced Mender fedora here, which is an item I was originally running as a mage on floor 6 to try and survive, and it didn't really do anything for me. But I've ended up trying it again on floor 5 as a berserker now, and it's worked surprisingly well because the double healing it gives you seems to apply to the berserker's lifesteal, which obviously is very helpful, and it also applies to the healing you get from like the ornate zombie sword. So this thing will sometimes heal me for like over 1,000 HP. So yeah, I'll actually go ahead and hop into a quick floor 5 run right now just to kind of show this off to you guys. So yeah, what you guys will probably be able to see here is that I do still take a decent amount of damage because like my health and defense stats aren't completely out of this world, but all that bonus lifesteal from the mending fedora, and then whenever I can use the ornate to heal out a bunch of health as well, is super helpful. Oh shoot, a superior lost adventure now as well. Whichever one of us gets the superior frag is probably going to make the other one a little bit upset here. But you know what, I guess that's okay, because someone has to be sad. Okay, and I ended up being the one to get it. I will take that, man. I'm sure the other guy's mad, but it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, you could probably see even in that fight there that when I'm not getting like the Bloodlust from the Berserker or like a bunch of lifesteal, I take heavy amounts of damage. But again, then whenever I am able to get the Bloodlust or the lifesteal, because of the fact that I think the Mender Fedora is doubling the amount of healing I get from it, I pretty much go right back to full health. So it still makes my life as a Berserker somewhat stressful because of the fact that I need to constantly be killing something, otherwise I most likely will die. But overall, I will say that it's a little bit less stressful than when I was wearing the Shadow Assassin helmet. And then the second and probably most important way that I've been working on this, floor 6 survival plan is making an upgrade to my pet. So obviously right now I've been using this Epic Turtle pet. It's working really, really well for surviving on floor 5, but I'm not quite sure if it's going to cut it on floor 6. And because of that, I have been looking into trying to find a better pet to use. And the one that immediately popped up, I think even a couple of you recommended this in the comments of the last episode, is the legendary blue whale pet. But now, trying to get this legendary blue whale pet presents a couple of issues. The first of those being that the blue whale pet in general is only available through the traveling zoo event, which only happens once every 5 days. And then even when the event does happen and Oringo, the guy who sells the pet, shows up right here, there's only a chance that he's even going to have the pet I'm looking for. And so even though it did seem like a bit of a long shot, when the event ended up happening, I decided to go to it just to see, hopefully I'll get lucky. And turns out he had an epic blue whale pet there, which was literally the perfect one for him to have. And the reason that this was the perfect version of the blue whale for Oringo to have for me is because the legendary blue whale not only costs 10 million coins, it also costs 8 enchanted cooked fish. And as you can see right here, even like a week after that event happened, I still only have 5. So even if he had showed up with the legendary blue whale, I was just gonna have to sit there and let it pass me by because I wouldn't have been able to afford it. But now with this epic blue whale, which by the way, you can see I've already leveled it up to level 43 just by equipping it every time I collect my fishing minions. What I can do is actually upgrade it to a legendary once I get those 8 enchanted cooked fish. Now the one unfortunate part here though is that the upgrade is going to take 12 days, which is going to be like, a painfully long time to wait. But that legendary blue whale pet will be a huge upgrade over the turtle, so I think it'll be worth the wait. Which, for those of you unfamiliar with the perks provided by the legendary blue whale pet, its second perk, Bulk, is really, really good. You can see gain 3 defense per 20 max health at max level. And then its third perk is also insanely good. Archimedes, you gain plus 20% max health overall. So in dungeons, I'd be looking at a bonus like 1.5 to 2,000 health. And then probably around a bonus like 500 or 600 defense on top of that. But now, even with that being said, my work on this floor 6 survival plan does not end there, because in addition to the legendary blue whale, there is still one other pet that would even be better than it. But this pet is so insanely rare that I really cannot count on getting one of these things. I'll head over to the auction house just to show you how rare this thing is. The pet I'm talking about is, of course, the baby yeti. This thing is so rare, the lowest price is 47 million coins. And the reason the pet is so good is because at the max level 100, it will give you 100% of your strength as defense. Which when you're playing Berserker in dungeons, I think you typically end the runs with anywhere from like 1 to 2,000 strength. So yeah, the pet would literally give you an extra 1 to 2,000 defense. Compared to my epic turtle pet, which gives me that plus 13%, which only ends up being like, 200 defense or something. But as rare as that baby yeti pet is, it is a possibility for me because I have hit fishing 25, so I can fish up yetis. And on top of that, as you guys know, I have been working on getting that full set of shark armor. I've actually gone ahead and already crafted 2 pieces. Of course, the helmet and the boots, the cheapest pieces to craft, which is honestly kind of insane that those are the only 2 pieces I've been able to craft so far. I think that these minions have now been up for like 2 weeks at this point, so yeah, this has been a process, man. But that being said, these 2 pieces of shark armor did definitely give me a nice boost in sea creature chance over the angler armor I was using before in their place. And on top of that, Marina is currently the mayor of Skyblock, and she's giving an extra 15 sea creature chance while she's mayor. So when the Jerry's Workshop Island opened up yesterday, I knew that this was going to be my perfect shot to go for this baby yeti pet. Now, unfortunately for me, my first like 3 to maybe even 4 hours of yeti fishing went horribly. I did not fish up a single yeti. I happened to fish up a Sea Emperor actually, which is not what I wanted. It got so bad that I ended up just giving up on it entirely. But for whatever reason, like an hour before the island was gonna close, I decided to come back with just one more stack of ice bait and, you know, just hope something was gonna happen. And then finally, as I neared the end of the stack of ice bait, thinking that I was literally gonna go 4 to 5 hours without fishing up a single yeti, I fished up this beautiful creature. Then it just became a matter of praying that somehow the RNG gods would be in my favor and drop me the baby yeti pet, and I did not get anything. Well, that's not entirely true. I did not get a baby yeti pet, but I did end up getting a hilt of true ice, which if I ever want to craft a yeti sword will obviously be very, very useful to do that. Unfortunately though, the hard part of getting a yeti sword is not the hilt of true ice. It's the 6 stacks of enchanted packed ice, which I think even with tier 11 ice minions would take like 3 months to get. So yeah, the yeti sword's probably never happening for me, but I mean, I guess you never know. So yeah, more than likely the legendary blue whale is probably going to end up being the pet I kind of settle for, but I am planning on continuing to yeti fish every opportunity I get, because if I could somehow pull off a baby yeti, that would just be insane. But yeah, then the final improvement to this plan slash setup that I'm actually going to go ahead and do right now is fixing up my accessory reforges, because as you can see here, all my accessories are currently just reforged to strong, which is not the optimal way to go for damage. And I could be wrong here, but I believe the optimal way to do things is to have my legendaries on strong, my epics on forceful, and then everything else here on shaded. And in order to get the shaded reforge, you need a dark orb reforge stone. Thankfully, I've managed to get 2 of these things. One of them was through a dungeons chest, and then the other one was actually through the livid collection here. After you complete 50 runs, you get one for free. All right, so I've taken out all the legendaries and epics out of my accessory bag, and then I need to go to advanced reforging, accessory bag reforging, and then hopefully this isn't like crazy expensive to apply. Okay, about 700,000 coins, which is a lot of money, but given that it's gonna reforge like 40 of my accessories, I feel like that's a fair price. And boom, there we go. They have all been reforged to shaded. All right, and now I just have the epics in the accessory bag, so I'm gonna go ahead and change these over to forceful. And even with just these 7 accessories, it's still costing 10,000 for every single reforge, so hopefully this doesn't take too long. I don't wanna blow a bunch of coins on this. Okay, there we go, got forceful on them, and the legendaries are already on strong, which I think is what they should be on, so that's it. I'm good. And I guess what I probably should have done was a damage test on the old reforges I had compared to these new ones to see if it really did make a difference. Although I do think I kind of have an idea of how much damage I was doing before. We're at like 65, maybe only 60k now, 68k there. I think before I was in like the high 50s to maybe low 60s, whereas now it seems I'm like always above 60k, and sometimes I'm able to hit like, you know, 67, 68k. So, you know, a decent amount better, which is kind of what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting it to be like some crazy improvement, but I was gonna hope, you know, I spend like 1,000,000 coins on reforging that it would help out a little bit. All right, and with that, guys, that brings us to the episodic dragon today. Once again, placing 3 eyes, so hopefully all goes well. Just now need to get my mana up to the max and then switch back over to the right armor set and pet. So yeah, I once again went with the strategy I did last time too of telling people in the like hub when I'm trying to get a party that I will not put any sweats in the party, because obviously in the past when I had put sweats in and tried to place 3, it ended up seeming like it was not the greatest idea. So yeah. Anyways, here we go. Dragons should be spawning. Protector. Oh, yikes, man. That is like the worst thing that could have happened to us there. But you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and stick it out. Nothing I can do about it now, and we'll just hope for the best. I do kind of want to go back now and look to like how many dragons it's been since I last got a superior, because I feel like it's been quite some time now. But I think it's only like a 1 in 24 chance of a superior, so maybe it hasn't been like longer than average or anything. Okay, geez, I've totally choked here. I'm glad this is a protector and not some like really good type of dragon, because I just wasted a bunch of mana there. Whoa, okay, still ended up with first place somehow. I'm actually surprised with that. I guess that's what happens when there's no one to do like a bunch of magic damage or someone who sweats dragons really hard. So I got 13 protector fragments and a helmet. You know what? It is what it is. So there wasn't really any circumstance where I'm going to be happy about what I got, so I guess I'm not mad about the helmet. All right, guys, and that's where I'm going to go ahead and end off today's episode. One quick thing I do want to show off, though, is the next elected mayor is looking like it's going to be Aatrox, and he once again has the perk of half-price Slayer quest. And on top of that, this time around, his other perk is 25% bonus Slayer XP. So I think this is going to be a really, really good opportunity for me to finally get to Wolf 7 and maybe try and grind for like an overflux for a little bit. So yeah, that's probably something for you guys to look out for in the next episode. episode, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But I was also going to say, if there's anything else you think would be worthwhile for me to grind in terms of Slayers, let me know, and I will look into doing it while Aatrox is mayor. But yeah, with that being said, thank you guys very, very much for watching today's episode, and hopefully I will get the next one out for you guys within like 2 to 3 days. So yeah, see you then. Peace.